Well, hey there, my friends, and welcome to my channel, Ink and Whimsy. This is Laura Daniels, and I'm glad you've decided to spend a little bit of your day with me. We're going to color a journaling card today for a 12 by 12 scrapbook layout that you will see uploaded very soon. We're going to be using the Good Life card making kit because I just love this river with the rocks. And we're going to make a journaling card with this. And let me show you, I always have my inspiration, don't I? So here is the Close to My Heart September October magazine catalog. All right, this is what I'm using as my jumping off point to film and create my journaling card. And then the layout that I'm going to be casing is this one. I always just use it as a jumping off. You never know where it's going to end up, right? But in the center here is where I'm going to have the journaling card with two photos on either side and then some paper down here on the bottom with some embellishments. So that's where I'm going with this. We'll see what happens with the actual layout, but right now we're just going to have some fun coloring. Now for the actual 12 by 12 scrapbook layout, I am going to be using the Colorista colored pencil sets, a combination of colors from both of these, Perfect Portrait and Natural Landscape. The colors I'll be using today are going to be Natural Blend, Dark Timber, Sky Blue, Flint Gray, Brown Sepia, and Sap Green. So we're going to set those aside right here because I want to show you a few of the other that I have already colored for you. I couldn't even tell you what colors I used there. I forgot to grab that one. I actually paused the camera so I could get this for you. This was the turquoise blend that I used for the river here. For this right here, I used the colored pencils, Peacock Green, Azure Blue, Blue Teal, and Wave Blue. And I did the dark and the light, and then I used a gel pen up here at the top to create some small little waves up there. Maybe the current was a little stronger. Here, I used the Vintage Blue blend, the light, the medium, and the dark, and then the dull green blend to do the grass that's up in between the rocks. This right here, I used the muted brown blends on the rocks, true blue blend in the river, and then your brown gray blend and your dull green blend. And like I said in my last video, this is like going to a speech lesson. True blue blend, brown gray blend. Oh my gosh. It's a lot harder than it looks trying to say it again and again. All right, so let me get started doing some of the coloring. So I'm going to clear this away and get set up and we'll get busy. And if you're interested in any of the supplies, my shop is open 24/7. Again, my name is Laura Daniels. My shop is ldaniels.closetomyheart.com, and I have an Instagram feed, Ink and Whimsy, and of course, you're watching me here on my YouTube channel, Ink and Whimsy. And be sure to give the video a thumbs up. If you're enjoying these coloring videos, it lets YouTube and me know that you're enjoying them. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is start off with the sky blue, and it's always important to make sure, can you see the angle on my colored pencil? That makes it so you don't have the sharp line, you actually have a light blendable color. So I'm going to turn this just a little bit, and I am going to use the pointed side. Now I am not a professional by any means. I am just having fun coloring, and I'm hoping you're enjoying watching me color. So I am going over these dark areas where you can tell the artist already told you where some of the shading needs to be, and I'm pressing down a lot harder with my pencil, and then I'm going up in here and pressing this a little harder because it's further away. All right, and now with just nice circular motions, let me get this nice and flat. I am just going to start coloring this in, and then we're going to see where we need to go even darker, like around where the rocks are close to the water. You know, you're going to see shadows right there, right? I would think it would be darker closer up to the edges of everything. So I'm kind of just doing that myself. And once you get a good hold on your pencil, this is pretty easy to do. I'm actually wondering if I'm shaking the table. This is different, right? You can see I was already making a nice river. What do you prefer, the river or the ocean? Or the lake? I'm sure we have some lake people. I had told my husband if we were going to live near the water, I'd want one of the cabins or the lake homes right on the water, where every morning we could have our Folgers moment drinking our coffee on our front porch overlooking the water. I wouldn't want to be like in the middle of Jacksonville, Florida, in the city where all of the beach shops are and stuff. That literally has no appeal to me. Now here I am definitely pressing down harder, because this is where you're going to see some of the shading. See how we have the rocks right here, and then we have this little bit right there. We got that right there. I think that looks good because I don't want it real dark for the card I'm going to make, my journaling card. All right, so let's see. Now we're going to take the brown. Give me 1 second here. You're going, what is she looking at? All right, so now we're going to take the brown sepia, and we're going to do some of the bottom of the rocks where you see some of the shading. And well, you know what I want to do first? This grass with the pointy edges. See that right there? And I am just kind of letting my hand do what's sporadic. I'm just trying to, oh, now see the difference that makes? You can already see the picture starting to come to life, can't you? And I keep trying to turn my pencil so I have the sharp edge so that my grass doesn't look fat. I want it nice and, there we go. I'm going to put some here. I think when I get to coloring the rocks, I'm going to color a couple of those, but then I'm going to go off camera and I'll finish coloring, and then you'll see what I'm doing next with the finishing off this journaling card and putting the card together. All right, so now I want to take the green, and I want a nice point. Look at that color green. This is sap green. I'm going to make sure I do a little bit of green around the bottom of where the grass is. My cat Simba has eaten, and now he's walking around my feet. I'm like, well, now I've eaten. It's time for you to pick me up and let me purr. He is not catching on that I am filming a video for you all. Oh, that's looking pretty. All right. A lot of times when I'm filming, I'm going, oh my gosh, this is looking so bad, and I'm ready to quit. But for you guys, I keep going. All right, so we have our little bit of green, and now we're going to take the natural brown and we're going to do the base of the rocks where they would be darker because there's some shadow. Just along the bottom like this, and where the artist has put that shading, I am making sure that I put some dark shading with this color that I want to use. Okay, now I'm just going to do this right here, and this, and this, And I'm going to color one of the rocks, and then I'm going to pull away from the camera just long enough that I can get all the rocks done, and then we'll move on to the next step because I don't want to bore you to the point that you leave me. All right, so here we go. Let's see. I'm going to take the natural brown, but I'm going to color lightly. I'll do this one right here. Make sure we have our nice soft edge. I found that, oh gosh, the older I get, my hand gets jerky. I don't know how to describe it. I really don't. I don't. We're going to take the gray, get a nice soft blend. I don't know that colored pencils are my favorite medium to color with. I love the tri-blends a lot more. Alright, so I'm going over the rock, and I'm trying to blend in this bottom part. And no, I'm not finished. I can just hear you a little bit of attitude right there. Just relax now. I promise you it's going to look a little better. I told you my hand gets jerky. Alright, so we lighten that up right there. And then we need to add our dark, this right here for the rock. Get it even darker. We're going to take this color and come in some more. Because you really don't want to just see the lines, do you? It kind of takes away from the natural look. Alright, and now let's take the gray, come in a little darker right there. Alright, so there's our rock. Now, I am going to turn off the camera. I'm going to finish coloring the rocks, and then I'm going to, in a YouTube, the magic of YouTube, you're going to see me when I'm all finished with the rocks, and then we're going to do some sponging. I guess that's what you call it. Alrighty, so I finished coloring the rocks, and now I'm going to take the dark timber, and I'm going to put some more dark shadowing in the corners where, you know, the water's up against the rocks. You have shadow from the rocks one on the other. Again, I've never claimed to be a pro at this, but I can kind of throw color together sometimes. There you go. Just a little bit here in the corners. I'm going to put a little more dimension up here. Shadowing adds such dimension to your artwork, doesn't it? As soon as you start adding the darks and the lights, the magic starts to happen. All right, now I'm thinking here on the river also, I want to add some of the brown right up here near the edge. Try to go gently to show more of the shadows right near the edge. But I don't want it there. Stick out a little more. Goodness. Okay. Let's see. Ah, I think that's looking very pretty. All right, now we're going to take the toffee, and I'm going to use my blender brush, and I'm going to go around the sides. Now for the card, I would cut this smaller, but I already have one cut, so right now I'm just going to show this to you. And many of you are already pros on this. You don't even need me showing you this. You go in a circular motion, and then you do the first tap off of the actual paper. If you put it right on the paper, girl, you're going to have a brown toffee smudge, and you'll be so unhappy with the hard work you did, right? Gives it an antique look, doesn't it? And then what I do for the card, and I'm sure I could use a different brush, but I did this right here where I went along the edge just like this, and you see how it gives it that nice finished edge to it. This would be pretty in a frame. I think I just need to add my signature. What do you think? All right, so you get where I'm going with that. So it gives it a very antique look. Now I'm going to show you how I put together the actual card so you can see how I cut this down and I did the sponging and I gave it a really neat antique look. So let's move all of this right here and let's bring the stuff in. Now these are the photos that I'm going to be working with right here when I do my 12 by 12 layout. So you can see how it's a covered bridge. Yep, that's me, always being sassy. And then there's the river. So I thought this was just so apropos. I was just quite excited. And I think it was a couple weeks ago, I did this fall girl. And I want to show you how neat she would look if you did this and you had her standing. Now you had to have a full sheet of paper, so imagine this as 12 by 12 and she's standing there overlooking the water, or you have her dressed for fall. Now let's take in the window. Look at this right here. Let's say you have the window right there and she's standing there looking out the window. Is that not so neat looking? The possibilities are just endless when you start thinking about it. So let's set them aside. Now the first thing I did is I cut, this is bigger than a 4 by 6 because the picture underneath it will be a 4 by 6. So I kind of just eyeballed it and just had fun cutting whatever size I wanted, because I didn't need, the only thing I need to do is to have room on the inside for journaling and for my photo. So we're going to take this. The next thing we're going to do is add this beautiful piece, and it's going to go, I want it to be a little further down the bottom because see the top of the windmill? I wanted to make sure I'm in the middle here. Wanted to make sure that there was, that you could see it real good. And then make sure I'm in the middle. All right, now I cut this and then I ripped it along the edge so the white was showing. Wait till you see how this all looks together. It is just so pretty. I am so excited for you to see it. We're going to put this about right here. I'm actually sitting down, which is a bad idea. I don't know how many of you can actually sit, and get things straight. Not me. So I'm standing. What side do I want? Oh, I want that side. All right, so let's do this. I'm going to slide this right underneath, about right there. Move it over. There we go. Okay. And now we're going to take this. I'm not even going to try to remember the name. I've just had one of those days. All right, here we go. Actually, where is my catalog? Well, let's see. In the catalog, it says Mist Harbor, Mocha, Espresso, and Toffee. So there, those are the colors. All right, now here is the small, it's not stamped any smaller. All I did was just choose where I wanted to cut it down at, right? Because the focal point, I wanted it to be everything that was around it also. And if you go back to the picture that I'm casing, now I've used different colors, right? And I'm going to have a different saying here, but this is my journal card that's going to flip up. And I love having a jumping off point that gives me inspiration. All right, so this is going to go in the middle here. And now we're going to I picked these two stickers right here from the sticker page. That doesn't look good in the video. We've got to move that. It's all about how it looks and comes together. All right, now this is our story, because remember, it's all about my husband and I. being at the covered bridge. And this is so small. Okay, here we go. Our story, better together. I love it. Okay, he bothers me sometimes, but I love him. I would gander to guess I bother him. What do you think? I think so. Let's be honest. We've been married, what? How many years? You don't know. Oh my gosh, I honestly couldn't tell you. I wonder if it's 34. Oh, I'd have to look on my calendar. Okay, now my friends, in my 12 by 12 layout, which you will see, this will lift up, okay? And here I will have a photo. Gosh, what could I put? I could put Sassy Britches right underneath there, and I will have a mat so you won't even see this. And then up top here, I'll have all my journaling. So it will go something like this. I know, right? You were just so incredibly impressed. All right, well, let's put our girl down here because, again, she's looking at the river. She has probably poured herself, pumpkin spice latte. Isn't that the thing? All right, my friends, I am going to call this done. I hope that you enjoyed the video. In the comments below, let me know if you've tried journaling, creating a journal card, because you know we put all this time into making the cards, and though I love sending them to make someone's day, once they're sent I don't have them anymore. So I love it when I can create something that will go in a 12 by 12 layout and I'll always see it, and it's like I've created a piece of art. So again, until we meet again, God bless. Have an incredible day. Be sure to give me a thumbs up and leave a comment so I know you enjoyed yourself and what your thoughts are. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.